From beautiful Burbank, California, and it's actually cold, or at least it was cold. It was 50 degrees last night. I couldn't feel my digits. That counts as cold. I'm Ken Napzok. Welcome to another edition of Ken Goes Live, right here live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Ken Napzok, where you might be watching live, or you might be watching later on YouTube. But if you're watching live, I can pull you in like this. Hey, David Taylor's here. Hey, Ken and chat. A lot of people getting in here. We appreciate it. Thank you for Mike Fink actually just resubscribed with Prime here on Twitch. And thank you to everyone who watched last night on Red Dead Redemption Tuesdays, where we took on a very scary criminal and won the day. We're going to do it again next Tuesday. And thanks to Johnny M. and Jeff Saunders, who's taking time out of getting ready for his big charity drive over there with the Shave event with stbaldricks.org for joining me on that stream there. We have a very special guest coming up here in a bit, not too long. Jessica Antenorcruz is a narrative game designer, narrative head honcho. I'm making that title official for a great project that I've backed on Kickstarter. I've been playing the commercials here for the last couple episodes called Drag Her, a great fun game. And we're going to be talking about that, about just the fun journey and the struggle, which I think is always important to address the struggles of being creative and trying to get things done and why that game is important. And definitely not Trey's checking in, ready to learn about Drag Her's finishing moves. A lot of finishing moves. We need finishing moves. It's a fun fighting game. We need finishing moves. We'll be asking Jessica about that. And then there's Scribbler. There's Jeff Saunders. Scribbler, of course, is part of that great charity drive with stbaldricks.org as they help do cool things to help fund money, research, awareness to fight childhood cancers. We believe all that. You know what? We believe a lot of things around here. We believe silly things. We're going to have conversations. I'll probably get some great questions today about, what my favorite frozen mac and cheese meals are. That's a real thing. That's an important thing. But also, we like to talk about things, important things on my mind. And one of the things on my mind is the state of the world. It's hard not to have that on your mind. You should have that on your mind. I think at any given time during the day, you could be overwhelmed with what's going on and maybe be confused about what to plug in. Is there a pecking order? No, there's no pecking order. There's just problems. And try to do what you can to help the world, right? A little circle of empathy is what I keep talking about. And I can't help but have the state of the world on the mind with the impending doom of World War III. That seems to be the conversation. Like you're at the coffee shop. Can I have a large coffee? Yeah, yes, you can. What do you think about World War III? It's possible. And it's scary. And it's real, but it's hard to go on Twitter, which I call just a bullhorn for bullshit, where even good intentioned people can be screamed to the rafters and a lot of the issues get lost, or where to focus your attention or where to focus your help gets lost. And I'm like all of you, I'm just trying to watch from afar. And it means a lot to me. My last name, Napzok, for years I've said, yeah, it's Russian. That's not true. That's actually a lie. I came of age in the 80s, the United States of America. The easiest thing for me to say was I'm Russian, like Drago from Rocky IV, but I'm actually Ukrainian and Circassian. My late grandfather was Circassian. Long story of him being press ganged into the Nazi army, not his choice. After the war, Soviet Union wouldn't let him in, so he had to come to America, which is why I believe in this nation welcoming immigrants of all kinds. That's why I'm here. And then my grandmother, who just passed away not too long ago, was born and raised in Kiev. So I am of Ukrainian and Circassian descent, and first generation American. My dad was actually born in Graz, Austria. So the state of the world and the state of Ukraine is important to me. So I don't know where to put my energies in it. Pray to what you believe in, cross your fingers, believe in the force. I don't know. I'm with you all. I just think we still have to press on. We still have to put love and empathy in the world. And also it's okay to not just put the phone down, but to talk about what your favorite mac and cheese is. It's okay to plug in with those around you. It's okay to not always be focused on all this, just like I said, this bullhorn of bullshit coming out of social media and everything, and just take a deep breath, like I'm going to try to do, and just enjoy what you can. and be plugged in where you want to be plugged in. And one of the places I think a lot of people are plugged in right now is some of the stuff going on in Texas. And this Governor Abbott, look, it's an election season over there, right? This is fear mongering. This is rattling the cages to get all those people to rally behind someone so they can win an election, and they do it through absolute hate, absolute fear monger, and absolutely just evil legislation coming out of Texas for the transgender community and their family. It's pretty abhorrent. And I also think, though, there's a lot of just stuff coming out of it, a lot of righteous rage, and I think we need that too. But it's helpful to try to focus and see where you can put your attention, where you can put your money, where you can put your thoughts, and where you can put your energies. And I think that's something too. Like I'm one that's like, stop with your Texas jokes. Stop with attacking the people of that state. I think move to Texas. Don't leave it. Move there. If you want to leave, leave. If you can leave, leave. Make Texas ours. Go over there, get involved, vote these people out. I think that's there too. And I don't like seeing a lot of folks. It's like, let's just bomb Texas and kick it out of the union. No, that's people there that need your help, that need your energies, and want to stay for their families out there. And I think it's important to look at that there. I'm not on a soapbox here. I'm just as concerned, worried, angry, and want to know where to put my energies. That's why I am going towards this organization, equalitytexas.org. I'll be putting some money here. And as I always say, it is your money. It is your energy. Always vet. Always during times of fear and times of anger, organizations are going to pop up, websites are going to pop up with the donate button. And if you don't feel safe and secure sending it there, absolutely, I understand. But this has been going around the internet today. A lot of people I know and trust are putting their energies and their money here, and this is where I'm going myself. So if you'd like to check it out, if you'd like to go to their website, equalitytexas.org. One of the things going on in the world today. And look, like I said, we could do all things. You could be plugged into the people that need your help and need your empathy. And you can also celebrate things like my favorite 7-Eleven sandwich. It's all part of living, and it's all part of our brains on overload with what's going on in the world. Thanks to everyone who's joined in here, like Lauren Romo. We've also got Tommy Terry Green, Senior Films here as well. And then, hey, that's our guest. She's sneaking into the show early. She's talking to chat. Love it there. And Mike Fink says, it's harder to love to hate. Takes 3 times the effort. We can do it. Look, you guys know me. Star Wars isn't just something I watch and enjoy and go pew pew pew. It's something I take to heart. And that line from Rose Tico of we got to save what we love, not fight what we hate. It's hard to do that. It's hard to do that. And anger is sometimes good. Anger is a motivator, but I also try to focus energies and lead with empathy. That's been the biggest change in me the last 2 years. I'm a grump. I'm a big grump. Look at this beard. This is a grumpy man in his room. But seeing the state of the world for the last few years, and quite frankly, my whole life, but to really see it put in focus the last couple of years, the lack of empathy can kill us, and it can hurt, and it can destroy. But you know what's also the opposite of destroy? Building, putting creative energies out there, getting cool people around you to create and put light and love and fun into the world. And coming up after this break, we are going to be talking about the wonderful game that you can have a part in making happen. Drag Her. So stick around here on Ken Goes Live.
Chun-Li? Who's she? Sindel? Never heard of the bitch. Helga? Oh, you don't remember Helga from the Interplay game Clay Fighter that came out in the 90s for Super NES and Sega, where a clay meteor crashes into a circus and all the characters become claymation versions of themselves and they fight and it's hilarious and fun? No? Well, get ready to settle for less with Drag Her. Serving you camp, queer, kick-assery with a big ol' side of balls. Like ball culture, like balls. Drag balls. Oh, you get it. Drag Her. Being death dropped onto you by Fighting Chance Games. A fistful of good Judy's wondering, why the hell no one has done this before? No, seriously. Why hasn't anyone done this before? It's like a really good idea and everyone's gonna love it.
There you go. You've been seeing that promo here on the channel, the Drag Her game. I'm looking forward to it. It is a 2D fighter game, hand animated, features real life drag superstars, and it's got that kind of arcade magic that I think we all need in our lives. Sometimes you miss it, sometimes you might still have it, but this is a game that is a lot of things. It's also, I think, important, especially in these times. So, enough about me and my beanie and my beard. We're going to bring in someone who has helped to develop this game, is part of the process, and behind the Kickstarter. Please welcome to the show a good friend of mine. She is a absolute purple hair talent. Is that an official purple hair? That's a thing, right? Yeah, here she is, Jessica Antenorcruz. Jessica, how are you?
Woo! I'm good. How are you?
I'm sorry. I don't want the purple hair to always be the defining thing, but they're going to see it and they're gonna love it. So you're a purple hair genius. How are you?
It's hard to ignore. It's on top of my head. It's very bright. I'm not at all mad about being identified as a purple-haired monster or angel, whatever people describe me as.
A little bit of little column A, little column B. Look, no secret, you're a longtime friend of mine. There's a rumor going around that you actually may have one night shot more stormtroopers than me in a Battlefront 1 session. Rumor, only rumor.
Rumor. I do have a photograph of the final score of how many stormtroopers each of us shot, but it's a rumor that I have never verified until now.
Did you keep that for posterity?
I did, because I feel, good about so few things in my life that I really just had to hold on to that one.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, thank you.
I remember not even being close. Not even being close. You're good at shooting stormtroopers.
It was half. It was about half.
And a lot of people who have watched me play on like Red Dead Redemption 2 or Battlefront 2 on Twitch, like definitely not Trey, they have it right. Ken does charge in and refuses to take cover. That's true. That's true. And I also can't shoot straight on a video game. Jessica, the real reason you're here, not just to relive video game memories, is you are part of this wonderful team that's trying to make this game a reality. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the fun part of creating it. We're going to talk about the struggles of trying to get a game out. Talk a little bit about Drag Her, the Kickstarter. We're going to open forum, and then we'll dive in deep. When did you get involved with this, and what's the story?
Whew. Drag Her came about. So a small group of friends and we, I think especially in the past few years with all the stuff that's been coming out about working in games and video games, we've had friends who worked for large video game companies before and had kind of traumatic experiences. And me as a woman, like, I've always been interested in working for video games, but it was kind of a daunting thing of, do I want to get involved in this whole culture? And it's a whole other thing. So we thought, what would be the team that you would want to make a drag-based fighting game? And we were like, I think it's us. It's all members of a bunch of different communities and what's normally categorized as like minorities in major game studios. Mm-hmm. So we thought, why not? And we just started working on this drag fighting game. I am a huge Mortal Kombat fan, and to this day, attested as one of my favorite things in the whole universe. And so
I've seen the tweets.
I don't lie. I played it just 2 nights ago. So it is a permanent part of my personality. And I wanted to do something that was like Mortal Kombat and Clay Fighter smashed into one thing, because Clay Fighter is like a very weird niche fighting game from the 90s that I think maybe 7 people remember. But if those people remember it, they really love the reference.
Yeah.
And so we kind of made this game, which is insane. And it's all hand drawn by Josie, who is our amazing artist, art direction. He does everything and anything. And every time he turns something into us, I'm like, oh, it's beautiful. Every time.
Is it hard to give notes when sometimes you might, hey, we need to give some notes on designs because we're making this game, but you look at something, you're like, it's beautiful. So are you. We're good.
Yeah, there's so many times, and I don't know enough about art to be like, the line structure should be, I'm just like, Josie, it's great. 10 out of 10. Thanks. I don't know.
I like the colors. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. But he also, so for the demo, which isn't based on any of the drag performers that we have signed for the game. It was just like a thing that we thought of that we were like, oh, okay, it's our country queen, Dolly Parton inspired. I did all the motion capture for that. So all of like the dumb faces and the crazy movement, I did videos and sent them to Josie. And it was so funny seeing my dumb self translated into a hand-drawn dumb self. Um,
But look, you are athletic by nature. You're an aerial artist as well. You're graceful in your movements. You've got a great. By the way, people will send you. Also, drop a link in the YouTube description to your own YouTube channel, and your aerial performance to Jessica Jones theme is great as well. You're graceful by nature. How was it acting out fighting stances and moves in your living room?
really fun and very challenging. Uh, it was weird because the way I work as an artist, I had to like take a whole view of this character that I was creating and like
Yeah,
how she would work, right? So if she's a
yeah.
country queen, like what kind of things would she do? So, I created a move for her called the country fried kickin', which is like a little kick that she does. And it was kind of fun sort of living out my drag fantasy.
Mhm.
I'm a woman and I've learned a lot from drag. I've
Yeah.
learned sort of how to be more confident, like, hey, I want to wear a little bit more makeup than normal today. That's okay.
Yeah.
Nobody can tell me anything about it.
Mm.
And I think getting to be a drag queen in some fashion where I do something and somebody changes me into another drag queen, it's very empowering because I sort of was like, I'm free.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of spirit behind this, and the company you all put together, Fighting Chance Games, love
Yes.
that name, love that name. But I want to go back to this moment where you're all, I'm making up a scene in my head. You're all sitting around a living room, going, you know what, this game should be created, and you look at each other and go, why not us? That's a great thing to say. It's daunting to believe in and even start. Go back to that moment of those first steps of this game.
Yeah, I remember so Ian, who is our producer, business manager, everybody does everything. So Ian and Josie, I remember we had all talked about it, and I remember them kind of approaching me about it. And a drag-based fighting game, I was like, "This sounds amazing, and why hasn't it happened before?"
Mhm.
Drag is such a over-the-top art form, and fighting games, my love of fighting games, over the top, right? I mean, I come from
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat world where there's no such thing as subtlety in Mortal Kombat, and that's what I love about drag. I love the performative,
Mhm.
big nature of it. And it is it has been daunting and it's been very difficult. Again, some of us have worked for really big game corporations and have sort of seen how that can damage,
Mm,
yourself or your
mm,
art or any of those things. And when we decided to work forward on this project, it's scary. I mean, they Josie and Ian definitely like had a meeting with somebody who told them like gay people don't play video games. They're too sensitive. And I was like, you're talking to
Did
two people who are gay who play video games.
that person time travel to, like, the 1950s? Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. So it's
Eh,
been challenging
yeah,
getting
it's
any
crazy.
funding or any footing for a game that like it's a diverse game made by diverse people.
Yeah.
And it seems like something, well, people are always talking about how that's what they want, that's what they're trying to do. And we're like, then where's our money?
No, and look, it is about that, and I want, we'll talk a little bit more about your personal journey for that, but like, let's talk about this. Actually, I want to go here. Interview lessons 101. People don't do what I do in interviews. I'm jumping around the map here. Knowing what I know about your skills, but also, looking for a good place to create. What did it mean to once that decision was made by all of you, like we're going to do this? What did it mean to you personally as a creative who's like a lot of us struggle to find people believing in your art or your own belief in your art. What did it mean to have this group around you? What confidence did that provide you as you all went forward in this?
It's wild. It's wild to be around people that you believe in and love and trust and support and have that same thing fed back to you. I definitely went into this scenario with not a lot of confidence in the skills that they were looking for. Like, I've never been a narrative designer on a video game. I'm
Mm,
comfortable saying that. I've written things. I wrote like a draft of a book. I've written stuff, but I've never written a video game. People tell me I'm funny, but I struggle with writing humor a lot of the time. And they
I
were just
wouldn't
like,
I wouldn't disagree with that. I wish you were writing half my stand-up set. There. Be good.
I'm available. But it's a daunting thing to be like, okay, well, this is your whole job. But
Yeah.
it was so freeing to be supported by people who see talent in you and
Mhm.
also to kind of get to use all of the skills that I've worked my whole freaking life
Yeah.
to build, right? I got to use my physical skills, my performing skills. I got to use my dance background. I got to use like the comedy that I have saved within myself, which is very stupid and silly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I got to write a bunch of jokes for performers that I admire and respect, and also made up performers that I got to just make jokes for, that were silly and stupid.
Did you get to use your CSI background at all? Was there a crime analyst?
Was there a crime scene? You know what? We're gonna put him in the game. We're gonna put a crime scene analyst in the game. I got to make sure I use every skill I've had.
Just when I first initially met Jessica years ago, that's what she was, a crime scene investigator type of person down for an agency, and suddenly next time I see you, you're not there. You're flinging from the roof on ropes. Which it speaks to your bravery to pursue what you want. That's great. No, I love to hear it. I think the support for all the people out there who are about to do anything creative and about to do anything with the group. It might not be people you're working on directly with. Maybe the project's your own, but having confidence is it's never not needed as a creative.
No.
Every day. So you guys, you all come together. You decide we're going to do this. You can't get funding through traditional means. You try. I know a grant came on early, but hey, we really want to do this. We're going to seek out crowdfunding. That is an easy thing to say, and I didn't really know too much about that until the past year. I'd been part of the GPA Kickstarter for the Futility board game. There's some great success stories out there of crowdfunding, and you see them. Look how much money they made. Their dreams are coming true. It's a lot harder to do it because at the base level, it's still trying to convince people to believe in an idea. So take me through that process, starting it out here and the Kickstarter journey.
When we first thought of doing Kickstarter, and I'm very much a person who's like, I'll do whatever, just let me keep doing the work that I'm doing.
Right.
And I also sort of am very stubborn, which I'm sure Ken can attest to. But I find it really difficult to accept that we can't get traditional funding.
Yeah.
And I just don't accept that. Like we've worked so hard. The game looks good. It's a fun
Great.
game. And yet we have not been given, the golden ticket, which is every creative's dream, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, we'll do Kickstarter. I don't really know a ton about that. And I think it was maybe a month before Kickstarter, we didn't have any official drag personalities signed. Like we were in talks with a bunch of different people and nobody was actually signed on yet. So we were like, is this gonna be bad? Because we always knew we wanted it to be based on real drag personalities. We didn't want to create our own. That's a lot of work. And it's also, these drag personas are things that people have worked on and personal and big deals. So I was like, I can't be responsible for all that. It's a lot of work for me.
How did you? I was going to say convince. That's not the right word, but when you approach these individuals to use their personas or get them involved with the game, how was it received? Was it like, oh, absolutely, this is great? Was there any convincing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's been a few so the ones that a lot of the people that we have currently signed, which I will repeat, there are in the trailer, but just really quickly. So our roster so far is Landon Sider, who's a drag king. We have Manila Luzon, Alaska 5000, Asia O'Hara, and Laganja Estranja. That's like our roster to start with. And then we have assist characters who are Tammy Brown and Jiggly Caliente. I think Jiggly was one of the first people we had who was like, I love this. How can I be involved?
Awesome.
And like set that ball rolling. And some of the people that are on the roster, I think Laganja was another one who like, once we talked to, I'm sorry, I forgot. Kimchi is another one of the queens that we have. Sometimes people would like talk to other performers and be like, hey, you should get involved in this. And that was really helpful. But
yeah,
I think that's every kind of person's dream who is a performer, right? You want to be involved in this kind of art that is fun and silly and shows off that you're a cool badass.
Yeah. I want to talk about some of the actual gameplay, what you could tell, what you could reveal. Someone made the joke earlier about finishing moves. How fun was it to just kind of create an actual fighting game, a 2D classic arcade style fighting game? What are some surprises that you can reveal and some of the journey steps in that journey?
It was such a blast. All of the moves I got to name really stupid things, and I got to kind of make as if physics didn't wasn't real in this world, and I got to like, oh, now imagine this is happening. And we don't have finishing moves per se. Like it's not exactly like Mortal Kombat where there's like a finisher because we were like, well, we can't just remake Mortal Kombat apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently that's not allowed. But we do have sort of finishing scenes, and like in the demo, one of them is, you know, this queen falls off the stage because we are at our very core self-deprecating, and
Yeah.
you can't just have a ton of like sickening things happening and then you just are cool all the time. You know what I mean? That's not drag. But we do have cinematic moves, which we're very excited about, because that's one of my favorite things. A lot of fighting games do that, but you know, in the middle of it, you'll have a cinematic cutaway where it's very cool and animated and magical, and usually there's like a wah wah moment. But
Isn't that how most of your jokes end, right?
yeah,
Mm,
that's true. That's not a joke.
Uh,
Yeah.
what are some of your favorite things that you yourself learned about yourself or about just the process getting involved with this and really being allowed to create to at a level that you always, I think, knew you could, just needed the great chance to do?
Yeah, I think that's a lot of it is find people who believe in you. Like just to work with and when in work in any program because I felt so safe and supported. And I think that gave me a lot of freedom to just explore whatever this is. There's a really special comfort or knowledge in like I could send a video of me doing a move and be like, "Hey, team, here's me doing X move. What do you think?" And there's a safety in knowing that if they don't like it, it's okay. It's not they don't like me. It's not that they don't like me. It's not a personal thing. It's like, "No, this doesn't work for the character." Or like, "It's your call, Jessica, you do it." I think as a woman in games, which I have a very limited experience in, but this experience has been really great because I feel empowered and I feel like I can make decisions, which I think I struggle with. And I think a lot of people struggle with in artistic endeavors. We don't trust ourselves, we don't trust our
Mm,
guts.
mm,
We have to compromise often for money or for something else. And I think the ability to just be like, sorry, we're not doing that. This is
mm,
what the character design is.
yeah. Yeah.
And kind of learning to trust in your own instinct is big and scary. I also learned I could kick a lot higher than I thought I could.
I could have told you that. Yeah, no, I think if I ever, early on trusted and believed in myself, I would just would have been a banker. Wouldn't be doing all this stuff. No, I love hearing all that there. The game looks great. The game looks fun. There's an energy to it. What is, as a narrative designer, as you're stepping into this role, again, I don't want to spoil any surprises for those who will eventually play the game because I believe they will. What are some of the fun things that you feel you got to put into the game as a narrative designer?
I do like all the like every pun you could imagine is in the game. No stone unturned, okay? Like
I
I scrounged through all the depths of Drudge to put every bad joke in this game.
I think I forgot. I think I blocked out how much you love puns.
Yeah, that's fair. You should. And I hope you block it out again after this conversation.
That's that.
But I
But
do love them.
I think puns belong in a fun game like this. So
They do. I mean, if ever there was a place for them, maybe what will happen is I'll get all my puns out while I make this game, and then I'll have to think of like a new form of comedy for myself afterwards.
eh,
So that'll be challenging. But so we got to do that. We are again, depending on how the Kickstarter goes, we have a narrative game, like a narrative story for the game. So it's not just you just have to battle and that's kind of it. We have a whole career mode because people love working women and stuff like that.
yeah, love it.
We have mini games. That's our big hope. We have like voguing mini challenges, and then if anybody remembers Street Fighter, there was a game where you like a mini game where you could like beat up a car.
Yeah,
We
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we have a version of that called Beat the Mug or Beat Your Face, where it's like somebody putting makeup on somebody really, really fast. So our hopes are that we can include mini games and the career mode and all that if we can get enough funding from Kickstarter, and hopefully that gets us interest in bigger
Yeah.
publishing houses and things like that.
Absolutely. And I've been dropping the links here. We'll put them on the YouTube description. Trey has a great questionnaire or a great statement. I bet the brainstorm of this game was amazing and fun. Yeah. If all this crazy, wild, fun stuff's in the game, I can't imagine what was too wild and crazy to be in it.
I should get my notes at some point because there's a lot of things where I was like, "Can we do this?" And they're like, "Absolutely not. Please don't do that." Like there was Our player had a guitar at one point, and Dolly Parton plays guitar.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, what can be the name for this? And I was like, what about Strat Tuck Caster?
Mm, mm,
And they were like,
mm.
no, we can't call it that. I was like, oh, it's such a good name. That was one of the times where I had to be like, okay, fine. I guess you guys know what you're talking about.
I think you can use that. Put that in your notes, and you can use it for another game, the sequel or another world. I think that's a
Yeah.
great. I think that's a great name.
But I'm so excited because there's all these new, like, I get to kind of delve into drag stars that I really enjoy, right? So Landon Sider, who's a drag king, is a drag performer I really, really admire. I think he is very talented and very visually exciting. If nobody knows who Landon Sider is, or you're not super familiar, he won Dragula season 3,
Mm.
and I just can't wait to like inundate myself with kind of him and how he works and how he performs. I've seen him live once, and I get to like write those moves and create for that person. And it's going to be so
That's
cool.
awesome. I'm so happy for you on a personal level, knowing the ups and downs of a lot of your creative endeavors, and as you know, the ups and downs of mine. I just so happy. I'm happy to see you happy creating this project here. Yeah, you mentioned the Kickstarter thing. I've been dropping the links here live on Twitch, and Kickstarter's it's a journey. It's rewarding, but it's a struggle, and it's often just the beginning. So as we wrap up this part of the show here, and you're gonna you said you'd stick around and answer mac and cheese questions, holding you to that here.
Yeah, of course.
As the Kickstarter campaign comes to an end here, tell me why this game is important beyond just fun. Why do you feel this game and the team behind it is an important project right now in this time in the world?
One of the I know I've talked a lot about Mortal Kombat, but one of the things that I loved about Mortal Kombat was how crazy and gory it was. But one of the things I first instituted when we started making this game is this is a consequence-free violence game. I was like, look, this is a queer-based game. It has a lot of queer members, members of the trans community, members, all the letters that you can think of. We're all a part of this game, right? Allies included. That's a community that is traumatized day in and day out. I don't want there to be blood. I don't want there to be bruising. I don't want there to be anything humiliating or traumatizing because this community has lived so much of that. I want this to be a game that's fun and has consequence-free violence where you can kick somebody in the face and you see them the next day and work together, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think part of this game, we get a lot of queer stories, and I use the word queer as kind of an over-encompassing umbrella of like even allies, right? I don't think there's a set anything. So queer stories are often fraught or sad or traumatic or dark or anything. And I just want people to know like it's okay to have fun. It's okay to celebrate joy. Sorry, my cat is meowing very loudly in the
Your,
background, but he's
your cat,
joyous.
your cat is celebrating joy indeed.
He's
Yes.
having a good time, but I think it's okay to let people know, like, you can have a good time. You can care about the things you care about and still have love and celebrate and be loud about what you care about. I think that's okay. And I think this game is coming at a very important time. So, two of the individuals in our game are trans women. We have Laganja Estranja and we have Jiggly Caliente. And it's such an honor to be able to include them in a game because, like, all drag is art. There's
Mhm.
no line like, oh, if you're not doing this, you're not doing drag. If you're doing drag, you're doing drag. That's it.
Mm.
I mean, heterosexual men do drag, women who are assigned female at birth do drag. Like, there's room for everyone. And I think
Yeah.
I think
Big
this
tip.
game just wants to let people know, like, you're here, you're welcome.
Mm.
Be here.
That's That's absolutely important. It's important in these times. Again, it's so easy to get overwhelmed, and there's so much darkness to the realities out there, and the everyday lives of those people being affected by what's going on in Texas, what's going on in the world. I think you're right to also say, here's the other side of it. We're going to highlight and celebrate that. It is part of the journey as well, and I think that's absolutely what makes the game important. Kickstarter link is in the YouTube description. It's been dropped here. We got 7 days left. Any final thoughts from you on this game? Also, we want to highlight on March 8th, you're part of a contest, a competition. Sometimes it sucks that everything's a competition, but we also want to know where they can support you on this because it could affect this game, right?
Yes, so March 8th, I basically have to do like a Shark Tank style Thunderdome type of thing with 5 other games, but it's me. It's a Women in Games fund by AT&T Unlocked, and I sort of have to go up against them and sell to these judges why Drag Her is the game that should win $100,000. And boy, do I think we should win $100,000. So
I'm hoping at the end of the episode they go, jokes on all of you. We're giving all of you the money. It's just, it's a bummer that sometimes everything has come down to competition. You and I were talking off air, especially with women in gaming, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing you get the word out here. Cause again, Kickstarter, pass, fail, or otherwise, that's just the beginning of a project like this. You never know where it could go. You never know when people hear who's hearing it, who's listening, and who's watching. So, great stuff there. And again, final thoughts on just the game itself before I wrap this part of the show up.
I am often overcome with gratitude just to be at this point of the game. Like, it started as this funny little idea that I heard Ian mention, and I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. And then it became this, large tree that we all sort of grew together. And I'm just really proud of it. And I'm really grateful for every person, Ken, you included, like anybody who has loved the game or shared something positive about it. Those are the people who we made this game for, right? The people who see the fun in it, see the love that's coming out of it, and just want to be a part of that. That's all we care about. We have some exciting announcements coming up in the end of the Kickstarter week. We maybe have signed some new people, maybe have some big finale announcements. So
love it. No, happy to support not just you and your work, but those in this community that make this game a reality. We're going to make it happen. So again, Drag Her on Kickstarter, links in the description. Support it, spread the word, celebrate creative people doing something fun, silly, but also poignant and purposeful. We enjoy that there. Jessica, you're good to stick around. You want to stick around, answer some dumb questions?
I'm going to stick around. If I don't get a macaroni and cheese question, though, I might cry.
That's fair. That's coming. Stick around here, folks, for more Ken Goes Live. All right, we're back here on Ken Goes Live. I'm Ken Napzok, Jessica Antenorcruz sticking around, and we're going to take some live questions from the audience. We definitely, we want all the macaroni and cheese questions we can get. I don't know why I always do the show right before I have dinner. And that's what's the case. That's why I always think food questions are on my mind. We are going to take a live question caller as someone who was recently on the show himself. He's involved in a good cause as well. Please welcome to the show. I'm sure has some very important questions. He's one of my favorite people. Jeff Saunders. We also call him Hillbilly Scribs around these parts. Jeff, welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey.
Hello.
How are you doing? Buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. It is, it got cold here after we rode last night.
On the video game, it finally got cold. Yeah. We had a lot of fun last night in virtual reality, Cowboys chasing bad guys game, but then in real life it got cold. Were you out on a horse?
No. I was, and then I ran into something, and then I flew about 50 yards.
That's video games in life there. In the live Twitch chat box, I'm going to drop the link also for Jeff's specific fundraiser with stbaldricks.org, which is coming up on March 5th. I know you probably have a question, Jeff, but it's a great chance for us to follow up here. Jessica, bear with me while I handle some business here. Jeff, how is the shave event going? How many hair colors are in your hair? How's it going?
It's going great this year. I've right now, you can't really see them. I need to touch them up, but I've got 3 colors. I've got, I think, some green. No, it's always backwards on the screen. Green over here. There's some pink over here somewhere, and there's some blonde down the middle. I've got some more hair dye in the bathroom. If some more donations come in, I will add some more to it. Might even touch up the beard a little bit, because it's all going to come off in 10 days.
Can we make a goal in honor of Jessica and Drag Her on Kickstarter? Can we make a purple beard a goal?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think that just might be one of the colors in my bathroom right now.
Oh, perfect, perfect. And for those who maybe checking in for the first time here, Jeff's a part of this event. It's stprojects.org is worldwide, but Jeff is out there in Southern Texas and has a great event. And if he reaches these goals, the hair dye goes in, the hair goes off, and funds and awareness is raised for battling childhood cancer. So, Jeff, we always love what you do here. But do you have a question? Do you have an important question? A dumb question? A dumb important question? What do you have for us?
You know, I hadn't really thought of one yet.
All right, Jeff, stay here because we got some great questions in chat here. We got some wonderful questions coming in. First, we're going to start with definitely not Trey, who asked this question. Jessica, what was your in getting into video game development? How did you start running around with these scoundrels making video games?
I have such an easy story because I was just like invited in by people who already knew what they were doing. I didn't have to go through any of the difficult like vetting process. But my lovely friend Ian, who the first time we met, I scared him, and I'm so surprised he's still my friend. He has worked for a number of video game companies, and so he and Josie, who is the art director, were like, "Hey, do you want to write on this game?" And I went, "Wow, this is the easiest job interview I've ever had. Yes, please."
But you know what? You could say, "Hey, it's an easy road." But I know you personally. You've had struggles getting on those things, like we all have. I think you deserve the easy road here. So take that.
Thank you. I listen. I was on a scooter and I was on the easy road instantly.
And I think when you and I first met, I think you may have scared me too. So, and vice versa.
It's not like the first time it's happened, but I was laying in the back of a car and you couldn't tell that I was in it. And I sat up and he screamed very loudly. And I do feel a little bad, but not that bad.
Absolutely love it there. We got Senior Phil with this question specifically here for Jessica. But Jeff, you can answer this as well too. Jessica, what is your favorite game and what got you into gaming? When did this journey begin?
My favorite game, weirdly enough, is an older game from 1997 called Final Fantasy VII. It is like one of the first RPGs I cried. It's Aerith Gainsborough is one of my favorite characters. But I think honestly that and Mortal Kombat are the games that got me into games. I remember kind of not being allowed to play Mortal Kombat when I was young, and my stepbrother could play it. And I would like watch from the back room and be like, "Oh, cool, you did a fireball kick," or silly stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome. And then, of course, your second favorite game is Star Wars Battlefront 2 in 2015.
Yes.
You used to defeat a Star Wars podcaster regularly in one-on-one stormtrooper battles.
That's my favorite game if Ken Napzok is playing. If Ken Napzok is playing, I'm uninterested in that game from every realm.
It was weird for a long time. Jessica and I were hanging around each other a lot, and it was really just the only thing we were just like, we'd go to Baskin and Robbins and then play Battlefront 2 and shoot stormtroopers. It was a great time in my life.
It was iconic. Yeah.
Ian's got a great question. Says, and I'm going to try to read this as best I can. As a woman on the go, what macaroni product do you choose to nourish yourself?
I am I allowed to say brand names on this? I'm going to.
Yeah. Please, I want them to sponsor me.
I am a Kraft macaroni and cheese girl until I die. Kraft macaroni, thick and creamy, it's the best.
Is that also a character on your game? Because that should be. I love it.
It is. It's a special prize you win.
Do you get the little containers to go? Add water, stir, and you're good to go. Is that what you get? Yeah. What is okay? Cowtwitch, who is from Wisconsin, does Wisconsin make the best cheese? I don't know. I think I couldn't tell you otherwise if they don't.
Have either of you had Wisconsin cheese? Like specifically, this is from Wisconsin.
I haven't. Jeff, have you had Wisconsin cheese?
Not in Wisconsin, but I think I've had maybe cheese that claimed to be Wisconsin cheese.
Okay, I was gonna say. I just love that you were like, "Oh yeah, I've had it," but I was traveling around the world and I had some Wisconsin cheese.
I was in Paris when I had my favorite Wisconsin cheese.
Yeah, I was in Paris, Texas.
Love that. Yeah, there you go. Love that. Definitely not Trey says older game 1997 got him old. Yeah, no, I know. Look, like I said on previous shows, No Doubt is still a new band to me. What are you talking about? Hall of Fame? They're a new band. Senior Film follows up says GTA 3, Mortal Kombat, Deadly Lines, Pokemon Yellow got me into games. Jeff, I didn't ask you. Do you have a favorite video game other than you and I playing Red Dead Redemption 2 with Johnny M?
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. That's my favorite right now. I would say like like the first games I really remember getting into were Super Mario Brothers and Legend of Zelda. So I think like right now, probably my favorite one is Breath of the Wild. It brings back all the good memories and all the good feels from that little pixelated game I played in the 80s, but it's like,
I love
100 times better.
Great stuff. Great answer. Yeah, and Jessica's talking about crying at Final Fantasy VII. I've never cried at a video game until Red Dead Redemption 2. Now I get it. Now I understand.
Yeah.
As I was sitting there on the couch and that Western ballad comes in and I'm riding on my horse to the final confrontation and crying. I'm like, what's happening to me? What's going on?
Yeah, they're doing like a Final Fantasy remake right now and just kind of redrawing everything, and it looks younger and fresher. I mean, I was also around when 1997 version came out, but there's this very pivotal scene that happens, and I'm both anxious and incredibly stressed about seeing this scene that made me sob in better digital version.
Yeah. They'll get you in more feels there. LQ42, LQ, good to have you here as always. How many cheeses is too many for mac and cheese? This is a great question. I sometimes, and I'm not going to steal the answer spotlight here, I just sometimes think there is too much, a case for too much stuff in mac and cheese. Jessica, what say you?
I'm a simple gal. I like a 2 cheese, probably max. Like, I don't know. I'm not a worldly mac and cheese person. Like putting crumbles on mac and cheese is very exotic to me. But I think 2 or 3, like more than that, I'm like, am I even tasting the cheese anymore?
Yeah. Simple can sometimes be best. And there was one occasion I was in the old mall I used to work in, the Northridge Fashion Center, but I'd stopped working there. It was around the time when you and I were shooting Stormtroopers a lot. And I was over there and they had a new mac and cheese restaurant. And I thought, oh my God, why wasn't this here when I worked here? And I went, it was in the food court and you get like a mac and cheese sandwich, mac and cheese, anything, burrito, burger. And so I got like a mac and cheese BLT sandwich. And I went to my car and I was going to eat it in my car because I eat most of my meals in my car. And it was too much. I couldn't even finish it. It was too much of not even like a good thing. It was just too much. Keep my mac and cheese. # keep my mac and cheese simple. Love that there. Will Brand. Hey, Will Brand. Good to see you around here again. What retro games do you play? Genesis, SNES era, anything that you still enjoy right now?
I'm a big Genesis person. I'm a Sonic the Hedgehog gal all the way. I mean, anything that came out on Sega Genesis was for me. There was a game called Galahad that I loved. It was called The Legend of Galahad. Yeah, and it was like a very weird, not Legend of Zelda game, but it was doing its best, and I really loved it. But I definitely went the Sega to Sony PlayStation route and kind of went that direction.
Same. I had the Genesis for a while. Yeah, I was a late bloomer. I had the Commodore 64 growing up. Jeff, did you have a Commodore 64?
I did not. I had the old Atari, and then I had the NES when it came out.
Yeah,
and then I didn't have anything else until like a couple of years ago.
But you're great on a PS4 or 5 you got right now. We had the Commodore 64, and I remember asking my dad, "Can I get a Nintendo?" And he's like, "No, you got a Commodore 64. You're living life. You don't need a Nintendo. What are you talking about? I got 300 games on these floppy disks right here." Cow Twitch, quick answers here. Oh, and we got someone to join in here. I'll bring him in here. Maybe he's got an important question. Joining the show is Johnny M from Long Island, my writing partner on the Tuesday night streams. Johnny, how you doing, my friend?
Okay, how are you doing? How's everybody doing? I've been listening to the show. Yeah. It's great. I'm so excited. I want to join the Kickstarter. I kind of want to do that as soon as I get off the show. But I had important mac and cheese pressing questions to ask. And
okay. Well, we'll get to your question in a second here. I want to get this one here for Cow Twitch. Butter or margarine? My answer is pretty simple. Vegan avocado oil butter. Thank you. Jessica, what do you have?
Butter, but I might want to try that.
It's the best. It's the best. And it saves the world. Jeff, you're from South Texas. Both is the answer. Both,
and lots of it.
Love that. John, you're from Long Island. Do they even allow a choice out there? It's got to be butter on those bagels, right?
It's actually bacon with butter on it.
Oh,
love that. John, what is your mac and cheese related question?
So I was really thinking about this. I love the Kraft mac and cheese answer. What shape is the preferred shape of your mac and cheese?
Ooh, Jessica.
I have very strict thoughts on this. So if I am doing thick and creamy mixture, it has to be classic elbow. However, spiral is truly the best because it gets the most cheese per bit of pasta surface area. So I will attest that spiral Kraft mac and cheese is the best macaroni and cheese.
Love that. Yeah, because it's like the spiral kind of spirals into the earth of cheese. It just goes in.
It drills into it, and then it becomes one with the cheese.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Great stuff. Jeff, your controversial mac and cheese pasta choice?
I'm going with the lady up there. I think the spiral is the way to go.
I think it's good. And then we have Curtis checking in here, Jessica. He says, are we really okay with this Velveeta erasure here?
I feel very okay with my Velveeta erasure. User Curtis34, who I may or may not know.
Is there any kind of battles over this in life? Velveeta, Kraft? Can't we live in a world where both can be dumped into a bowl?
I'm very much an and person, I don't or. People are like, oh, pancakes or waffles. I'm like, and why do I have to choose?
Yeah.
I have both. But in my household, this is a Kraft household.
Sorry, Curtis. You have to go to secret Velveeta meetings down the street. More questions here. We got this one from Mr. McClunky. Well, I promise. We asked for it, Jessica. We said, hey, jokingly, give us some mac and cheese questions. We got some great ones.
Yeah.
What is your favorite place to get mac and cheese?
This is going to be a Ken specific answer, and it's also true. Is oh my God, I'm forgetting all the name. What is the name of the barbecue place?
Wood Ranch.
Wood Ranch.
Lauren's mac and cheese.
Yes, Lauren's mac and cheese at Wood Ranch is hands down the best restaurant mac and cheese.
Jeff is just, there is no argument there. But
sorry,
Jeff, is there a Texas Roadhouse something or other that you like going to over there?
Sadly, where I used to get my favorite mac and cheese is no longer there because it was a food truck called Mac Daddy's, and the guy that ran it in Austin now lives out in LA. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
But it was
John,
delicious.
Where do you go? You go to like the Statue of Liberty gift shop? Where do you go?
I love this. Oddly enough, it's a place that Jeff would probably frequent, and we would probably frequent as we play in Red Dead Redemption. A place called the Good Steer, like 5-10 minutes from my house. Does phenomenal mac and cheese, and they do a 5 cheese, which I know you said 3, but I have to disagree with this. I think 5 is the number, and the reason why is 3 for flavor, and 2 for texture.
Okay.
Look, I'm not going to argue with your science. The number of the counting is 5, and the counting of the number is 5 of mac and cheese. It should be 3, but I'll go with you. You know me, John. I'm not going to turn it down.
This is always a yes to mac and cheese group. It's yes first, and then we decide.
Yeah, look at this beard. It hasn't said no to mac and cheese in 20 years. Okay, that's fair. Ian's got a great question here. What was your favorite moment of working on Drag Her?
So we've been out to a few events. There's an event hosted by a drag queen named Bitch Puddin, who has invited us to play our game out at Precinct in Los Angeles. And we brought our game out and made this kind of like sort of cabinet for it, even though it was made out of paper. It looked amazing. And I got to stand on a chair and see like a line of people wanting to play our game. And some of them were in drag, some of them weren't. And I just remember getting really teary-eyed and emotional because that's such a weird feeling to see people engaging with this artistic thing you've created. And I think as artists, a lot of times we take ourselves for granted and that our work means anything to anyone. And I think it's a really special feeling to see like these people got to see this thing we created and got to interact with it. And even if nothing else ever happens, I get to have that moment. That was probably my favorite.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I've got to imagine what it's like a line cook at Wood Ranch thinks when he sees me eating his mac and cheese.
Yeah.
It's like, look at this tear coming out. Nothing ever happens. I got to see Ken eat this mac and cheese. No, but all seriously, I know what you mean, and it's a great answer. And I'm confident that's absolutely not all you're going to experience with this game, but it's a good moment to take with you as you go forward there. Definitely Trey has a technical question here, and I think you touched on it a little bit, but to get some clarification. Jessica, what exactly does narrative developer mean in a fighting game?
So I build the archetypes for all of the characters. Let's say Kimchi, maybe we want to make her a mix-up style character. I didn't know any of the names of these archetypes, by the way, before I started looking into this. I was like, I like playing as Scorpion. I like playing as, Blob from Clay Fighter, and didn't realize that there was actually a ton of background and all this stuff. And we very luckily have Matt, who is our lead programmer, wizardry computer person who builds all these characters and has taught me so much. But I design the archetype for what that character will be. I write their entire move set and how they'll all work together. I write the names for the moves. I write quips that they might say. I write their interactions with other characters. I will write the story mode and all of that. So basically any bit of writing you see on the game, also the press, a lot of the press for the game, that's me writing words, which I was obviously very good at. Don't take what I just said right now.
Me write words good. That's how I got into broadcasting. I like talk microphone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a
Me
great
do
start.
good.
And this is a great testament. This is a great testament to your group and Ian and everyone involved. You look around, you find talent, and if they know the terms or how to do everything on a Tuesday afternoon, that doesn't matter. What matters is you get the right people at the right place and the right heart on the team, and I think that's what they did, and that's what all of you have done to make this game a reality as you continue to on this journey. Couch, was there any other possible titles for the game? I actually had that thought too. It's a grab you kind of title. Any other thoughts? Was that it from the start?
I think that was the only one we ever genuinely gave credit to. We had other titles for our studio. We used to, this is a joke, I think I can say this online. We used to be called Team Trauma because as creative people, we've all had a hard time.
Yeah. I remember seeing that. That makes sense.
Yeah. But I think the game was only ever called Drag Her. I could be wrong, but that's all I ever knew it as, because it's too perfect.
Yeah, it's too perfect. It's perfect. It's like when I was like, Ken Napzok, Ken goes live. It's not Brad. It's not Brad. We're here.
Yeah.
Love that. No, great question, Cow Twitch. A lot of you in chat, great comments on mac and cheese. In a pinch, Walmart, great value mac and cheese.
Ooh.
You can't go there. Ranger Donald says, who doesn't like mac and cheese. 5 cheese sounds like trouble later on. We'll ask Johnny. Johnny, any final thoughts here? We're excited for our next session here Tuesday. We might have a 4th member of our posse next week. We're hoping, right?
That's a good tease. I'm hoping he shows up. You never know. No, I think going back, the Final Fantasy VII was one of my buddy's favorite games. We would go and hang out at his house, and we would all drink, and he would play that game like it was going at it. Like it didn't matter if the world could be falling down around him. He had like a Barker Lounge, his dad's Barker Lounger. He'd sit in the basement and just played that game. It didn't matter who we brought over, if it was girls, if it was the guys hanging out. That was everything for the entire year.
That feels like me. Nothing mattered when Final Fantasy VII was on, because it was an open world game as far as, in that time, and you could just do whatever. I remember getting really into chocobo breeding, which I'm not a person who cares about that.
That.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to get the gold chocobo. And, I would stay up until 5:00 in the morning. So it's very that.
Great stuff there. And I want it on record too. A lot of people don't believe me when they're like, Ken, have you ever played like a Pokemon game? And I'm like, not really, except for like a year I rode around in a car with my friend Jessica trying to collect all the Pokemons on that weird app game.
Dude, that's true. Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go. Yeah. We drive for hours in a car. Just like, there's one.
We had a good system though. I think listen, I don't know if this is allowed, but I think we kind of hacked the system in that we would one of us would drive, you can, and I would be on my phone and you would drive by Pokemon catch. So you didn't have to walk because it was Pokemon wanted you to get outside and do stuff. And Ken and I were like, no. We don't want to.
When I moved into my new apartment over there in Burbank a while ago, I obviously don't live there anymore. One day I got into try to park, and there was people in my parking spots in the neighborhood. I was like, what's going on? I looked on this Burbank walking path, and there's 30 people around, all trying to catch him. And I was like Eastwood and Gran Torino. I was like, all of you get out of here. I suddenly turned into a grump. They need to do the car method. But Clunky says, anyone here, have you played Being Human? I have not. I play like 3 video games: MLB The Show, Franchise Mode, Red Dead Redemption, Tony Hawk Skater, Battlefront 2 occasionally. That's all the games I play. Being Human, any of you?
I love it. It's I recommend it if anybody gets a chance to play it. It's a I think it's Quantic Dream. They made a short a while ago about like an AI who comes to life, and the people who creating her are like talking about shutting her down, but it's in front of her, and she's like, please don't, please, like I'll do whatever you want, and then they turn her off. She comes back into this world, Detroit Become Human. I think that's what you're talking about by Being Human. Yeah. I think it's Detroit, and it follows like 3 different AIs and their journey to like kind of shedding the structure of being an AI. Gotcha. It's a beautiful game. It's very touching. There's a lot of great voice actors in it. I highly recommend it if anybody wants a very emotional time playing a robot.
Don't trust the AI. John, thanks for joining us here. I'm going to let you go and let Jeff have the last word on his side. We'll see you Tuesday, Johnny M.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye.
I cut him off. I kicked him out. Jeff, final thing for you. This is probably the final time we'll talk before your big shave event on March 5th. We're very supportive of what you do every year and every day with your career, working to battle childhood cancers. Tell them again where they can support you, and I'll drop a link again.
So you can just go to stbaldrick's.org. You can donate there, or you can go to stbaldricks.org/teams/Shaving Lives 2022, and you can support our team. And in 10 days, a week from Saturday, there'll be a lot of bald heads in Central Texas.
That's awesome. Fighting the cause, and quite frankly, goes to my statements up top. There's good people everywhere, and there's evil everywhere. So maybe stand and fight the evil where you are, and that could be just as valuable, but a bigger conversation to have. Jeff, I appreciate you all. You are an angel here on earth, and really love knowing you, and thanks for sharing your time.
Thank you, Ken.
Hi, Jeff.
All right, Jeff is there with that shaggy beard. We are almost out of here. Another edition of Ken Goes Live. Thank you all for joining here. But Jessica, you got the last word with what we got going on with Drag Her on Kickstarter. I'm going to drop that link again. Tell them how to support, what to support, and what they might get if they want to.
Video games. If you go to our Kickstarter, if you could share it, that would be amazing. Obviously we're living through a crazy chaotic time. We know money is a crazy thing to come by. So more than anything, just giving us love and attention is really all we need. We're like a Tamagotchi. So please go to Drag Her the Game. You can find our Kickstarter. You can find our social media. Share our stuff. We would be so grateful. That's it, I think.
I love it. No, that's it. It's a lot. You guys are doing great things over there. I'm so proud, number one, but also know that this is just the beginning of the journey. No matter what happens, Kickstarter is just part of it. It's just the start. So keep your heads up and keep going. Everyone in chat, if you can't want to support, do so, but just spread the word. Tell people you heard about it, and maybe you want them to hear about it too. Jessica, stick around. Don't X out yet here. But as we sign out today, as always, as we're saying up top, a lot of things in the world to get you down every day, everywhere. There's pain all around you. There's people who need your help. They need your empathy. And also they need your joy. Let's not forget that too. It's easy to get overwhelmed. As I said up top, I'm going to be supporting equalitytexas.org. Talk about it on Force Center too. If that's a place you want to put your money, as I always say, look, like Jessica said, money's tough to come by. Money, sometimes you send it in a void. You don't know where it's going. I don't recommend charities or Kickstarters, anything without vetting them myself first. And I understand that this is a charity of choice right now for me, equalitytexas.org. All right, my friends, that is it for Ken Goes Live this week. Appreciate it. We'll be back very soon here on Twitch and YouTube and with my beard. See you all. Bye.